The story begins with the human army chaining down the world's strongest dragon. Their hero drives a sword into his heart. The dragon, shocked and confused, remembers being their ally. He doesn't fight back, still seeing them as friends. Choosing not to harm these fragile beings, he quietly accepts his fate. As he dies, he breaks the chains, gazes at the sky, and asks the gods for eternal peace. However, it turns out the gods have a different plan for him. He gets reborn as a human baby. When he opens his eyes, he sees a man and a woman looking at him. The woman is his mother, and she is thrilled to see her baby's eyes open, naming him Dolan. As time goes on, Dolan grows into a tall young man and becomes a skilled swordsman. He lives in a small village called Farron, where farming is the main job, so Dolan becomes a farmer. Every day, he wakes up with the sun and works on the farm, which is his only way to make a living. He doesn't complain because he has enough food and water. According to the village customs, turning 15 means you are an adult. Dolan, who is now 15, decides to leave his parents' home and live on his own. Although he stays in the same village, he goes with his older brother to the nearby forest to fish. His brother asks Dolan if he is really going to the swamp the next day. It turns out some mysterious things have been happening there. Dolan explains that they need to investigate because the lizards that used to live in the swamp disappeared last month, which could mess up the local ecosystem. His brother doesn't want Dolan to go to such a dangerous place by himself, thinking it's a job for the soldiers. But Dolan says the captain of the village guard is busy and doesn't want to investigate, so he is helping the elders. His brother offers to go with him, but Dolan, now a 16-year-old adult, doesn't want to be a burden. He promises he'll be fine and tells him he's just going to scout the area. After that, he catches a lot of fish and puts them in a bucket. On his way back, he runs into his friends, Malda and Albert. They are amazed by how much fish he caught on his own. Malda asks why he went fishing instead of getting ready for the investigation. He tells her he's been preparing for the past few days and will be fine. He then thanks her for helping convince the village chief to let him handle it. Malda replies that he's always the one helping her and Albert with their training. Dolan asks if they are leaving soon, and Malda says they have a meeting about training for the children. Albert tells Dolan that the investigation is the most important thing right now. They part ways, and Dolan goes home, where he salts the fish and hangs it to dry. A little while later, a red-haired girl named Ari calls him for his daily magic training. He walks over to his teacher's house. His teacher is an old hag named Magoro. Dolan uses a very powerful magic spell, launching energy orbs that destroy the target. This impresses the old hag, who says his offensive magic is one of the best she's ever seen. She praises him for having a good grasp of the basics. Dolan thanks her and says his progress is because of her teaching. After that, his grandmother decides to teach him healing and medicinal magic, which he isn't as good at. Later that evening, while returning home, he runs into a beautiful woman who looks like a rich noble. The village chief introduces her as Christina, a noble lady who will be staying in the village for a while. The chief tells him to treat her with respect. Dolan shakes her hand and immediately realizes she is incredibly skilled and powerful. He wonders what she's doing there, but hurries to his parents' house for dinner. He is warmly greeted by his family, and his mom cooks dinner for them. We find out he also has a younger brother named Marco. After dinner, his dad tells him he should get married soon because he seems lonely, but Dolan says he wants to stay single for a little longer. His father respects his choice, telling him he's an adult and can make his own decisions. Then, Marco brings up the swamp investigation, which makes Dolan's parents worry. Dolan reassures them that everything will be fine and promises to come back safely. The next morning, he leaves for the swamp, and half the village is there to say goodbye. The village chief offers to go with him, but Malda stops him, reminding him he has other important things to do. Then, a woman named Lestia gives him her blessings from the gods. His grandmother, Magoro, arrives and tells him she had a premonition that he might run into trouble, so she advises him to be careful. He thanks everyone and sets off. After traveling for several hours through forests filled with monsters, he finally reaches the swamp. The water has turned green and smells bad. He analyzes the dirty water and realizes the lizards left because the power power of the earth element has gotten too strong, while the water element has weakened, making the place unbalanced. He remembers his grandmother's premonition and suspects there's another reason for the change. Just then, he hears a rustle and senses a powerful being nearby. He knows only a strong monster could survive these conditions, so he grabs his sword, ready for a fight. But the monster reveals itself to be a beautiful half-snake, half-human creature known as a lamia. Dolan knows she is an incredibly rare monster that shouldn't be in this region. Before he can do anything, a giant earth elemental monster emerges from behind her and attacks her. She screams for help, and Dolan jumps in, slashing the beast's arm off and pulling the lamia to safety behind a giant mushroom. He tells her the monster's appearance is why the lizards left. He introduces himself and learns her name is Selena and that she can use magic. Dolan suggests they fight the monster together. She is hesitant at first because she just met him, but seeing how strong he is, she agrees to help. During the fight, Dolan uses his sword to block any attacks aimed at Selena. Meanwhile, Selena chants a powerful spell, creating a magic circle from which a giant serpent emerges and ties up the elemental beast. This gives Dolan enough time to rush the monster. The monster destroys the snake spell and attacks Dolan, but he dodges it, jumps on top of the mud demon, and slashes it cleanly in two with his sword, which is enchanted with dragon magic. The monster collapses, splashing mud all over Selena. After the fight, they find a small shack to spend the night. Dolan checks if Selena is hurt and thanks her for her help. He notes she must be cold and dirty. Selena is happy to see a human who isn't scared of her. For Dolan, who was once the most dangerous dragon, her appearance isn't frightening at all. Selena explains that she is in the swamp looking for a husband. She recently turned 17, which means she's an adult and needs to find a partner. She also explains that lamias are all female and need strong husbands from other races because ordinary men can't survive their poison. She keeps dropping hints that she wants him to be her partner, but Dolan is completely oblivious. Dolan then cooks some soup using his mother's recipe and offers it to her. She loves it and is amazed by the taste. When she sees him praising his mother, she asks if he loves his family a lot. He tells her his family is what made him love his life, remembering how he used to be a very lonely dragon, but now has people he trusts. The next morning, they get ready to leave. Dolan tells Selena he's heading back to his village and wishes her luck in finding a husband, telling her she's welcome to visit anytime. As Selena continues her journey, she finds that it's difficult because people are scared of her and run away. She realizes that the lower half of her body is going to be a problem in finding a husband. Meanwhile, back in the village, Dolan is at home practicing how to make magic potions with Ari and his grandmother, Magoro. Magoro explains that magical herbs are harder to prepare than regular ones because they contain magical power. She says that even a tiny mistake in the amount of magic can be fatal. Just as she says this, Dolan messes up a potion, ruining all the ingredients. Magoro scolds him and tells him he needs to be more precise. He gets upset with himself, and Ari becomes sad because she likes seeing him smile. She encourages him, telling him he has a kind heart and is a good person who cares for the children and that she thinks he's very cool. Magoro realizes the young girl has a crush on him, but Dolan is too dense to notice. He just tells Ari that she is the one who is best suited for potion making, not him. Magoro agrees and gives Ari the day off. After Ari leaves, Dolan thinks to himself that he's bad at this because he was a dragon and never needed medicine. Magoro tells him to take it slow and that there are no shortcuts. She then continues to teach him how to make antidotes. After the lesson, Dolan goes to have lunch with Ari's family. Before eating, he looks at a statue of the goddess Myra and thinks about how long it's been since he last saw her. After lunch, he rushes back to the village for his regular training. On the way, he passes Christina but doesn't notice her. When he gets to the training ground, Albert is teaching kids how to use a spear. He gives them a break when Dolan arrives, and the kids run over to show Dolan the spears they made, showing how much they love him. Suddenly, Dolan senses a monster in the nearby forest. He decides to go investigate alone at night. When he gets there, he wonders why a monster whose energy doesn't suit the environment would be there. He pinpoints the monster's location and finds it is Selena, who is taking a bath. He greets her casually, but she freaks out when she sees him and accidentally falls back towards a pot of hot water. Dolan quickly catches her before the water can hit her. Selena covers herself and asks him to stop watching her, but he just asks why, saying that all living things are attracted to beauty. This earns him a slap. He changes the subject and asks what she's doing here. She sadly explains that all the men she met on her journey were afraid of her, so she came back to find Dolan, hoping he could help her or be her partner. Dolan thinks he's lucky she came back and tells her he was hoping to see her again. He then comes up with an idea to get her to stay longer and asks her if she would like to live in his village. Selena thinks it's impossible because people will be afraid of her, but Dolan explains that they already have demi-humans and beast folk living with them, like the half-cow woman, so she would eventually be accepted. He believes her gentle personality will win them over. Selena is overjoyed at the idea and gladly agrees. Dolan tells her that living with him will have perks, and he can give her his life energy whenever she wants, which is like a drug for Lamius. He holds out his hand, and she nervously takes it. Dolan sends some of his life energy into her, and she feels a rush of pleasure. After she's satisfied, he explains his plan to her. A few days later, Selena starts leaving gifts of delicious boars and fish outside the village. The night captain, Bilan, and his troops are confused. The captain knows Lamius are dangerous and doesn't understand why one would leave prey behind instead of attacking. He decides to inform the village elders. The elders hold a meeting to discuss the matter. They are convinced the Lamia is evil but can't figure out why she is leaving gifts. Captain Bilan suggests they form a party to hunt her, but the elders say they don't have enough men and should request backup from the capital. Dolan, who is listening outside, gets worried because he knows the hatred between humans and monsters makes coexistence difficult. Just then, the old hag Magoro speaks up. She tells the captain not to make rash decisions and suggests the Lamia might not be evil since she's been sending gifts. She encourages them to wait until she has finished a fortune reading. At that moment, Ari comes in with the results. After checking them, Magoro announces that the fortune says the appearance of a snake is a good omen, so they must not harm the Lamia. Dolan is delighted to hear this and runs to the forest to share the good news with Selena. He tells her there's no immediate threat and they are ready for the final phase of their plan. The next day, all the capable fighters of the village gather for joint training. Captain Bilan tells them about the Lamia and says they need to stay on guard. Dolan sees this as the perfect opportunity to execute his plan. The most important person for his plan is the priestess, who represents the church and has the power to declare Selena good or evil. Meanwhile, in the forest, Selena is trembling with fear. The plan Dolan told her about involved him running into a den of low-level monsters and having her save him in front of everyone, making her look like a hero. But before they can act, a soldier comes running from the forest, yelling that he found the monster. Selena is shocked because she hasn't moved yet and was waiting for Dolan's signal. It turns out the soldier isn't talking about her. He was chased by a giant armored bear with red eyes. When Captain Bilan sees the bear, he orders everyone to retreat immediately. As they run, his son, Toro, falls to the ground right in front of the bear. The bear approaches the boy, ready to attack him. Dolan rushes to save the boy, thinking he might have to use his dragon powers. But just as he's about to reach him, Selena leaps out from the bushes as well. She shields both Dolan and the boy with her body, getting severely injured by the bear's claw in the process. Everyone is stunned. Then, Selena turns to the bear and uses her innate hypnotic ability, the evil eyes, to command it to go back into the forest, and it obeys. Everyone is shocked, not just by her power, but because she cared more about the boy's safety than her own wound. Dolan asks Selena if she's okay, but she points out that she's bleeding badly. The night captain, Bilan, is still scared and orders his son to get away from her, but Dolan refuses to move and tells the captain that Selena just saved his son's life and he won't repay kindness with cruelty. Bilan decides to question Selena. She confirms she was the one leaving the offerings and bows before him, asking to be allowed to stay in the village. She explains her lonely journey and swears she has no hatred towards humans and won't harm anyone. No one is afraid of her anymore, and Bilan turns to the priestess for her opinion. The priestess is standing still, and a divine light shines on her as she receives a message from the god goddess Myra. After the message ends, the priestess declares that Selena is not evil and that the goddess told the villagers to live in harmony with her. She approaches Selena and welcomes her to the village. Selena lifts her head to thank her, but suddenly faints from blood loss. Dolan catches her, and she is rushed to the village for treatment. The next day, she has recovered enough for the villagers to show her to her new house, which they have furnished for her. She is moved by their kindness and thanks them. Captain Belon apologizes for doubting her and thanks her for saving his son's life. Everyone welcomes her, and Dolan pretends to introduce himself for the first time so no one knows they already knew each other. With that, Selena becomes a part of the village. A couple of days pass, and Selena seems to have completely settled in with the villagers. Dolan is delighted that his plan worked and decides to thank the goddess Myra himself. Later that night, he leaves his body in an astral form and flies up to the heavens in his dragon form. The goddess Myra is there to welcome him. He thanks her for helping save Selena, and Myra says that Selena seemed very nice, so she had to help. Dolan finds it hard to believe a goddess recognized he was a dragon in a human body, but Myra laughs and explains that his life force was much stronger than others whenever he prayed. She mentions that he always seemed sick of living when he was a dragon, so she was surprised to find him happy as a human. Soon, he returns to his physical body. The next morning, a happy Selena bursts into his room to wake him up. Dolan tells her to knock first, and she apologizes, saying today is going to be an amazing day. It turns out that the noblewoman, Christina, is having a practice sparring match against the vice captain, Mal, whose name is also given as Milty. The whole village is watching. Chris notices Mal is holding back and asks her to go all out. Mal charges forward with her dagger and sword, but Chris, the city girl, is very skilled and blocks the attacks before disarming Mal and winning the match. She helps Mal up and praises her as one of the best fighters she's ever sparred with, which makes Mal blush. Later that night, Chris and Mal go to the tavern together and order food. Soon, Captain Belon and others arrive, and he immediately asks Chris to drink with him. Albert warns her not to, saying Belon is an alcoholic. Mal tells Belon to back off because she called dibs on Chris. Belon backs off and starts playfully joking with his friends. Later, Chris returns to her bed and looks out the window, feeling like a loner. She heads out to the mountain for some late-night training to clear her head. Dolan and Selena spot her by herself. Selena decides to invite Chris to her house so they can hang out. She shows off her bed filled with hay and pillows, jumps on it, and asks Chris to join her. Chris jumps on the bed too. Selena says she's loving the village and hopes Chris is having a good time too. The girls then pull Dolan onto the bed with them for a fun night. The next morning, Dolan goes to the tavern where the milk season festival is happening. Belon's wife produces special milk, and everyone is drinking it. Belon challenges anyone to drink more of his wife's milk than he can. Chris enters the tavern and is greeted by everyone. Belon calls her over to try the milk, and she chugs an entire mug in one go, finding it delicious. This excites Belon, who challenges her to a drinking contest. They chug glass after glass, but in the end, Belon can't keep up and loses to Chris, who becomes the new village drinking champion. She feels this place has become dear to her heart thanks to Dolan and Selena. A little while later, a government commissioner arrives at the village gate with guards. A soldier tells Dolan, Selena, and Chris come to the gate immediately. When they get there, the commissioner has his guards surround Dolan and Selena. He asks if Dolan is the one who brought a lamia into the king's land. The village priest immediately says the lamia has been approved by the oracle and is not evil. The commissioner claims he doesn't doubt the goddess's wishes, but Selena must go through government procedures if she wants to live as a citizen. Dolan finds this suspicious and asks to accompany them to the capital, and the commissioner agrees. As they are escorted away, Chris gets worried and decides to meet with the headmistress of her academy, an elf named Olivia, who has influence in the government. She uses a spell to boost her speed and leaves for the capital. She reaches the capital before Dolan and Selena and gets a meeting with Olivia. Olivia tells her that Selena will not be eliminated because she has Myra's blessing, but a high-up mage in the government named Kay, also referred to as Karen, sees her as a threat because of recent kidnappings. Chris claims Selena would never do such a thing, and Olivia agrees. Olivia suspects Kay wants to have Selena killed for some other reason and plans to interfere. Meanwhile, the carriage carrying Dolan and Selena stops in the middle of nowhere. The commissioner leads them to Kay, the creepy witch, who welcomes them with a fake smile. Inside her mansion, Kay's servants lay out a feast. She tells Selena to eat, saying she thought they were going to kill her, but Kay says she has no plans to kill someone so innocent and beautiful. As they eat, Kay praises Selena's flawless skin and pretty scales, then suddenly says she almost wants to eat her alive. At that moment, the drugs in the food kick in, and both Selena and Dolan lose consciousness. Back in the city, the commissioner, whose name is Joda, enters Olivia's office. Chris is shocked to see him and asks where Dolan and Selena are, but he ignores her and says he needs to speak with Olivia privately. Olivia tells him to let Chris stay. Joda reveals that there is a female mage in the city who is over 300 years old, and they suspect she is behind the disappearances. They believe she has been stealing the bodies of young women to stay young forever, and has now taken an interest in Selena. Chris freaks out, and the commissioner says they don't have much time to save her friend. In the basement of Kay's mansion, she is ready to experiment on Selena. She picks up a blade to skin her, but before she can, Dolan tells her to stop. He has freed himself from his restraints, and Kay wonders if she messed up the drug dose. Dolan ignores her and examines a magic circle on the floor, realizing it smells of blood. He asks her how many people she has killed. She replies that she stopped counting after 100. She explains that she loves all beautiful things and collects them to enhance herself. Dolan knows this magic is forbidden and asks if she made a deal with the devil to learn it, which she confirms. She says she plans to replace her old skin with Selena's. Suddenly, Selena wakes up and asks if this is the only reason she was brought here. Kay is surprised she's awake too. Selena runs to Dolan's side and asks the witch if she tricked the other women as well. Kay says they were doomed to live pitiful lives anyway, and she saved them by putting their beauty to better use. Selena has tears in her eyes and says the old commissioner, Joda, was right about her. Kay is surprised to hear his name, and Dolan then reveals a hidden communication device that has been transmitting their entire conversation to Joda and Olivia. At that moment, the wall explodes, and Olivia enters with her unit and Chris. The commissioner orders Kay's arrest. Olivia apologizes to Dolan and Selena for using them as bait, but says she needed proof of Kay's crimes. Olivia tells Kay she can't become beautiful by stealing from others. Kay becomes enraged, explaining she was born ugly and began attacking beautiful people to steal their most attractive features. With help from devils, her cruelty grew. Now that her plan is ruined, she decides to destroy her enemies and transforms into a big, ugly creature. She attacks Selena, but Dolan gets her to safety. She then attacks the soldiers with tentacles. Selena uses her cursed eyes to stop Kay, giving the soldiers a chance to run, but this drains her power. Kay attacks her again, but Chris steps in front and slashes off Kay's fingers, which immediately regenerate. Chris awakens her sword's true power and slashes Kay's arms and tentacles. This makes Kay furious, and she summons hundreds of eyes on her body to use dark magic. Chris blocks it, while Dolan draws two magic circles on the floor to use an attack and a barrier spell at the same time. He traps Kay in the barrier and shoots magic arrows at her, disintegrating her body. Then the barrier compresses and explodes, leaving no trace of her. The next day, Dolan and Selena are in Olivia's mansion. Dolan is tutoring Selena because she has to take an exam to get her paperwork. Selena apologizes for getting them stuck there because she used her cursed eyes, but Dolan tells her it's no big deal. Soon, Chris arrives, followed by Olivia and Commissioner Joda. Joda apologizes for getting them involved, and they say it's fine because everything ended well thanks to the antidote he gave them beforehand. The commissioner then gives Selena her official documents, allowing her to stay in the village without taking an exam, and she is overjoyed. After that, Olivia takes Dolan to meet a man named Denzel, who is the son of the old hag, Magoro, from their village. They catch up, and then Selena introduces herself. Denzel says his mother has written about her in her letters, so he knows who she is. He offers to give Selena a tour of the city, and she gladly accepts. However, she experiences the harsh reality of how people are afraid of her when she tries to help a boy in the market, and his mother shields him from her. This makes everyone on the street look at her with fear. Dolan comes to comfort her, and she decides to buy gifts for everyone in the village and return. As they are about to leave, Denzel and Olivia invite Dolan to join the academy. Denzel says he heard about his extraordinary magic power that could be refined there. Dolan says he's too busy with village stuff. Then, Olivia whispers to Dolan that she can sense his soul is different, and that if he wants to use his powers to help people, he should widen his knowledge at the academy. academy. Denzel adds that learning more would help him protect the village better. Dolan says he'll think about it, which makes Selena sad, thinking he will be away from her. They return to the village, and Dolan and Chris help train the village kids, while Selena and Belon watch. Selena worries that Dolan will leave her behind to go to the academy. While she's lost in thought, the village kids start playing with her tail, and she chases them. Dolan thinks she has become an important part of the village. Just then, Chris asks him to explore the forest with her, saying she wants to test her skills against the powerful monsters there. She says a villager can't take his pigs to graze because of the monsters, so she will act as a bodyguard for the pigs to help the villagers. Dolan sighs, but agrees to go with her. Soon, a herd of pigs ventures into the forest, guarded by Dolan, Chris, Belon, and some knights in heavy armor. Dolan explains that they need extra precautions because unusual monsters have been spotted recently. They reach the grazing grounds, and while Dolan and the girls watch the pigs, Belon leads his men to patrol the area. One of the pigs wanders off, and a knight runs after it. To his shock, the injured pig is thrown towards him by a powerful blade tiger. The guard is terrified as the tiger attacks him. Luckily, Belon arrives and smacks the tiger's head with his hammer. He warns the soldier to be more careful, but then, ironically, fails to notice a giant black ant monster that creeps up behind him and attacks. Dolan and the girls hear Belon's screams and rush to find him already defeated by the giant ant. The ant leaps towards Dolan, but he shoots it down with an energy ball. Chris asks what kind of monster it is, and Dolan says it's not a monster, but a low-ranking demon scout from the underworld called a Zert. He tells her that he read about them in one of the old hag's books. He then tells Chris he will pin the demon down so she can finish it off. He weakens the ant with a magic shot, and Chris uses the chance to slash its head off. He asks her not to tell the villagers about the demon. That night, everyone gathers at the village chief's house. The chief says Belon is unconscious, but no longer in danger. The old hag, Magoro, arrives and confirms Belon will be fine, but was injured by a monster much more powerful than the blade tiger. Dolan says something bad is happening in the forest and volunteers to investigate. The old hag tells him they should live in harmony with nature and that the monster only attacked because they were intruding. Dolan insists they should investigate, and she agrees on the condition that he takes someone with him. Chris volunteers, but the village chief refuses, saying they can't risk her life. Selena then stands up and says she will go with Dolan, and he can't refuse her. The next day, Dolan and Selena head to the forest, only to find Chris waiting for them. She says she wants to protect the village she has come to love. Soon, their group runs into giant spider monsters and defeats them. Then, a horned ape appears, but instead of fighting, Selena offers it an apple, solving the issue peacefully. Chris is shocked, and then she sees the ape's kids climbing all over Dolan like he's a tree. They decide to take a lunch break and share their food with the ape family. Dolan understands that the apes and spiders were pushed out of their territory by a more powerful monster. During lunch, Selena asks Chris for the secret to her charm so she can find a husband. Dolan tells Selena that she doesn't need to do anything special because she's already charming enough. This makes Selena blush, thinking he wants to be her husband. While she's daydreaming, Chris and Dolan sense the presence of a demon nearby. Suddenly, a ball is thrown towards them, containing an unconscious fairy. Another demonic ant arrives, and Dolan charges at it, telling Selena to get the monkeys to safety. Chris supports him, and they take down the ant, but Dolan senses more are coming. He takes down 2 more with energy arrows, while Chris handles the rest in that direction. Another ant charges Dolan, and its partner leaps from behind it to attack him from the air. Dolan stabs the one on the ground and morphs his arm into a dragon's hand to crush the one in the air. On the other side, Chris finishes an ant, but another one attacks her from behind. Luckily, Selena uses her magic to defeat it. They wake up the fairy, who introduces herself as Maul and says the demon ants were chasing her. Dolan realizes a higher authority must have commanded them. Maul says they are all in great danger, and just then, they feel surrounded. Chris is about to draw her sword, but Dolan stops her, sensing no hostility. A tribe of forest elves appears from the bushes. Their leader, an elf named Geo, leaps out and tells Maul he is there to rescue her. Maul tells tells Gio that Dolan's group saved her. The elf leader thanks them for saving his friend, but then says that the forest is their territory and other species are not welcome. He asks why they are there, and Dolan explains the situation. Gio understands and says he won't hold them guilty, but asks them to leave immediately because things are not good right now. Dolan asks if he's talking about the demon soldiers, and Gio gets furious, confirming they are at war with the demons. Chris rushes towards Gio and grabs him, asking about the war's status. The elf archers aim at her, but Dolan and Selena pull her back. Chris continues to argue that the whole area is in danger and they should be allowed to help the elves. The elves are taken aback and stop seeing her as a threat, especially since they've seen the group in action. Dolan pieces together the information and realizes a gate to the demon realm must be somewhere in the forest. He's sure it's not fully open yet, or there would be more demons. He decides he must destroy the gate, even if it means revealing his identity as a dragon. He approaches Gio and asks to fight alongside them. Gio is uncertain, but his younger brother, Fu, tells him that their people's lives are more important than old rules. The other elves agree, and Gio accepts their offer. Just as he is about to shake Dolan's hand, a pillar of dark energy rises in the middle of the forest, creating a strong earthquake. Dolan is the only one who realizes the gate to the demon realm has fully opened. The elves decide to head back to their village, and Dolan uses a wind spell to speed them up. Meanwhile, 3 demon knights emerge from the gate. Their mission is to lay the groundwork for their king to conquer Earth. A vampire-like demon says she can smell elves nearby and suggests a game to see who can find and kill them first. A half-lizard demon named Yord, also called Gold, gladly accepts. A gigantic armored demon, Gilan, says he doesn't have time for games and will stay true to the mission. Yord rushes ahead and finds the elves fighting demonic ants. He introduces himself as the best spear user in the demon realm, transforms his hand into a lance, and charges the elf village. The elves' arrows can't pierce his armor, and he tears a big hole in their fortress with his lance. He spots a lone elf soldier and goes to attack him, but sturdy vines suddenly tie him down. A goth witch elf named Diodora is controlling them. Meanwhile, Dolan and his group are fighting a horde of ant demons. The elves shoot arrows, and Dolan uses a powerful spell to rain down energy arrows, taking out dozens at once. Selena holds them back with her evil eyes. At the same time, Gio opens a shortcut to the village. He tells Dolan's group to follow, but they decide to deal with the remaining demons first. Dolan gives the girls magic stones, and they use their power to unleash powerful wind and earth spells. Dolan finishes the job with a powerful explosion, and then they join the elves on the shortcut. Back at the village, Diodora holds Yord down and tells him he won't be forgiven for his sins. He laughs, saying that being weak is the only sin. She is about to deal the finishing blow when the vampire demon shows up. She introduces herself as Rafia and tells Yord he's impatient and stupid. She then tells Diodora that she won't be able to defeat her. Diodora tries to summon flower spirits, but they don't respond. Rafia reveals she has already killed all the flower spirits, enraging Diodora. Diodora attacks, but Rafia creates a dark barrier that stops her thorny vines. Rafia says she is also a flower spirit, but one from the demon realm that feeds on blood and souls. She destroys the rose vine Diodora was on, but Diodora manages to injure her face with a hidden vine. Rafia is furious and swears to kill Diodora. Yord gets back up and attacks Diodora, breaking through her wall of vines. Rafia uses this chance to attack and severely burn Diodora, causing her mana to leak out. The 2 demon knights charge at her, and Diodora resigns to her fate. But just then, a bright object falls from the sky, and Dolan emerges from it, shocking everyone. Dolan helps Diodora up, but Yord sneaks up behind him to attack. Chris appears and blocks his attack. Dolan tries to slash Yord, but the demon backs away with only a small cut. Then, Rafia appears behind Dolan to attack, but an arrow from the elves hits her and sends her flying back. The forest shakes again as another pillar of magic erupts from the gate, and Rafia says the strongest member of their group has arrived. Yord tries to finish the humans, but he finds himself unable to move because of Selena's power. She summons a 7-headed snake to attack him. Raphia runs towards her, but Dolan uses an explosion spell to launch her into the air, and Diodora slaps her back to the ground with a rose vine. Selena has Yord tied down, and Dolan prepares a fire spell to finish him, but he senses another powerful enemy, the huge demon knight named Gilan, also called Jiren, who has just arrived. Dolan changes the target of his spell to the new threat. Gilan appears next to Selena and says his master wants her. This distracts her, and her grip on Yord weakens, allowing him to break free. He declares Selena is his prey and attacks her. Chris deflects his attack, and Yord, impressed by her strength, realizes she must be a superhuman. He says he'll have fun killing her, and Chris awakens the power of her magic sword. Meanwhile, Selena uses her power to restrain Gilan with a rock hand, and tells Dolan to leave this one to her. She blasts him with a dark magic attack, but he is unharmed. She uses her 7-headed snake spell again, but Gilan says it only feels like a massage, and that she is not prepared to kill. He breaks free and attacks her, but Dolan blocks his swing and punches him away. Just then, the last demon knight, Gork, lands. Gilan backs away, and Dolan can tell this new demon is a battle junkie, not a barbaric one. The 4th demon, Jork, says Dolan is strong and draws his swords, saying he will enjoy the fight. They clash swords, and Dolan's dragon skills shock the demon. Dolan realizes the demon noticed his trick and attacks with an explosion spell, but Gork survives. Dolan says he is much stronger than the other demons, which can only mean he is a fallen god. Gork is impressed and says they should let their weapons do the talking. The battle continues, and Gork starts charging his mana while Raphia and Yord launch a combo attack at Dolan. Gilan blocks the girls from helping. Dolan summons his dragon wings and blows away the combo attack with a strong wind, then shoots them down with a magic bullet. By now, the 4th demon, Gork, has finished charging. He launches a slash that reaches the sky, but Dolan remains unfazed and easily dissipates it. The demon laughs, never expecting someone on Earth to dispel his ultimate attack. Jork realizes Dolan can't fight at full power because he's worried about his friends. So, he declares a new rule. He gives the elves 3 days to either surrender or perish when he returns with his army. He then calls off the other demons. Gilan tells Selena that mercy towards an enemy is a greater sin than defeat. Yord tells Chris he'll never forget the humiliation. Raphia tells Diodora she will torment her next time they meet. Dolan and Gork promise to fight at full strength in 3 days. After the demons leave, Selena runs to Dolan and hugs him. They go to the house of the elf chief, Dio, who thanks them for their help. Suddenly, the elf headmistress Olivia arrives, revealing she was raised in this village. Dio says they will attack the demon gate the next day instead of waiting for the ultimatum. Dolan wishes to fight alongside them, and after some convincing from the other tribe leaders and Olivia, Dio agrees to accept their help. In the demon realm, Gork thinks about the battle. A flashback shows him as an angel in a war of gods, where he witnessed a giant white dragon summoned by the goddess Myra, annihilating the demon army. Now, Gork realizes that Dolan is that same dragon god, and he is eager to fight him at his full strength. Back in the elf village, Dolan finds Diodora and uses his life force to heal the rotting wound on her stomach from her fight with Raphia. She is shocked and asks if he's human, and he tells her he is an exception. Later that night, Dolan finds Selena on a balcony, her hands trembling with anxiety. He comforts her, and she explains she's scared because she hesitated to kill Gilan in their last fight. Dolan tells her that he likes her the way she is, and wouldn't have brought her to the village if she were cruel like other Lamias. He then gives her a pendant he made, a good luck charm containing an incredible amount of magic to protect her in the upcoming battle. As they are staring at each other, Chris comes and throws a blanket on them, joining them to watch the view. After this, Selena declares she will not hesitate in the next battle. The next morning, the combined forces of the forest dwellers assemble to attack the demon gates. The plan is for the main forces to handle the 3 smaller gates, while a special force ensures Dolan and his friends reach the main gate unharmed. On the way, their carriage is stopped by demons. Selena jumps out, telling Dolan and Chris to go on ahead, while she stays to help Gio's team. The The demons are ready for the attack. Jord guards one gate, where he is confronted by the forest residents. At another gate, Diodora shows up to face Rafia alone. At the third gate, Gio's troops face Gilan, but their attacks have no effect. Suddenly, Selena arrives and creates rocks in the air to crush Gilan, surprised by her own increased power. Gilan emerges from the rocks and tells Selena he's excited to face her again. Meanwhile, Dolan and Chris are still heading to the main gate. Chris is worried about Selena, but Dolan explains he gave her a special magic stone that will help her and asks Chris to trust their friend. As they approach the second gate where Jord is, Chris tells the driver to escape and then slams the carriage into the demon, knocking him over. She tells Dolan to head to the main gate while she handles Jord. She awakens the power of her magic sword for their rematch. In her fight with Rafia, Diodora is being overwhelmed. Rafia creates a dome around them and begins absorbing Diodora's power. But Diodora reveals this was her plan. She had planted a tiny black rose seed in Rafia's cheek during their last fight. As Rafia absorbs her magic, the seed germinates and rose vines burst from inside Rafia's body, strangling her to death. Exhausted, Diodora collapses as demon ants surround her, but Dolan flies in with his dragon wings, saves her, heals her, and destroys the demon gate. He reveals to her that he was a dragon in a past life. Chris, in her battle, lands constant hits on Jord, but he instantly heals. He keeps calling her a superhuman, and she finally snaps, asking what he means. He explains that superhumans are a rare and powerful breed of human, feared and ostracized by normal people. He tells her that the hero who killed the strongest dragon god was also a superhuman. This awakens her latent power, and she easily slashes his head off. As he vanishes, she thinks about how the hero must have betrayed his dragon friend. Dolan finally reaches the main gate, where Gork is waiting. Gork knows Dolan can't use his full power in this world, so he suggests they go to the demon realm to fight, and Dolan agrees. Back with Selena, the elves are being defeated by Gilan. He turns his stomach into tentacles and attacks them. Hearing their screams, Selena looks at the magic stone Dolan gave her and asks it for strength. She returns to the fight just as Gilan is about to finish off Gio and ties him up with magic chains. She tells the elves to get away as she is overflowing with mana and can't hold back. Gilan breaks free and attacks, but Selena, boosted by Dolan's stone, uses her powered-up magic eyes to freeze him in place. She fuses 5 magic snakes into a giant dragon head that bites Gilan, ending his life. In the demon realm, Dolan transforms his hand into a draconic form and unleashes his full power against Gork. He easily overwhelms the demon knight, dodging all his attacks and chopping off his hands before slashing him in half. Dying, Gork says that being killed by a dragon is the greatest honor. After his victory, Dolan is spotted by a powerful female demon, the Demon Queen, who laughs that the dragon god is not yet dead and she can play with him again. Dolan returns to the surface, where Selena runs to hug him. They destroy the main demon gate and the forest returns to normal. That night, a huge party is held in the village to celebrate. Diodora gives Dolan a bag of black rose seeds as a gift and then kisses him, leaving Selena stunned. Sometime after returning to their own village, Dolan opens the door to his house and a hand pierces his chest, causing him to lose consciousness. The next morning, Dolan wakes up as if nothing happened. He goes about his day, telling stories to the village children about the first dragon god who created all other dragons from his own body. But then things get strange. The knights, led by Belon, hunt an armored bear and its cub, telling Dolan that all monsters are dangerous and must be killed. Selena agrees, saying other monsters are worthless. He finds his crops have wilted, and Ari tells him the village is being disbanded. The village elders confirm this, saying the village is a shitty place. He watches as everyone leaves, including his own family. Chris calls him pathetic for staying. He goes to Selena's house and finds her packing to leave as well. Then, an explosion happens, and he finds his house on fire, with Chris admitting she and the other villagers started it. He begs Selena to stay, but Chris tells him to stop being pathetic and that they don't want to live with him because he isn't human. He falls to his knees as they all walk away, and he finds himself sinking into a bottomless sea. A voice tells him his feelings were one-sided and that humans disowned him when they found out his true nature. The next moment, Dolan opens his eyes and is a dragon again, back in his old volcano home. The voice, belonging to an evil goddess named Calphys, tells him his human life was all a dream. But then, he hears Selena's voice. She has somehow entered his dream, saying that the last thing she thought of before sleeping was meeting him. She reassures him by recounting their adventures together, proving she is real. Dolan thanks her for rescuing him, and she vanishes as she falls asleep in the dream. Dolan then confronts Calphys, the goddess of destruction and his old enemy. She complains that he abandoned her by choosing to die. Dolan declares that being reborn as a human has given him the resolve to live to the fullest. Calphys attacks, but Dolan, even in a dream, easily destroys her summoned monster and then punches her, ending the nightmare. He wakes up in his bed to Selena calling him from his window. He asks her what she would do if she saw an armored bear, and she says she would use her magic eyes to send it home, confirming this is the real world. Later, Dolan tells Chris and Selena he has decided to attend the Magic Academy to learn how to better protect the village, which he was inspired to do by the nightmare. He goes to the city and takes the entrance exam. Meanwhile, Selena is on a hunt but is distracted by thoughts of Dolan and accidentally injures one of the knights, making her feel guilty. Later, she reads a book and realizes that she loves Dolan and he is the husband she has been searching for. Believing she will hold him back, she decides to leave the village at once. When Dolan returns from his exam, he finds she is gone and has left 2 letters. In his letter, she says she is leaving to find a husband and apologizes for the sudden departure. Panicked, Dolan chases after her, transforming into a dragon to catch up quickly. He finds her by the lake where they first met. He tells her he asked the academy instructor if students can bring familiars and that he wants to make a contract with her so she can come with him. Selena is overjoyed, but worries that people will hate him for being with a monster. As she's arguing, she slips into the lake. Dolan jumps in after her and tells her he doesn't care if others hate him. He wants to see the world with her by his side. Moved to tears, she hugs him and agrees to go with him. They return to the village and Dolan finds out he passed his exam. The village witch forms a contract between them, and soon the entire village gathers to see them off as they leave for the academy. As their carriage departs, they wave goodbye to their friends and the village. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.